Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 15th through the 28th. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, major updates to park hopping. Trader Sam's is celebrating.
Toy Story characters have a new look. A Loth Cat Crew experience coming to Savi's workshop. We finish our trip report from Disneyland and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Greetings aboard the DL Weekly Orbiter. For your safety, intergalactic regulations require that you remain seated with your seatbelt fastened, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast. And please, watch your children. To make Tag and Teresa fly higher, pull back on the control lever in front of you. To descend, just push the control lever forward. Thank you. Please enjoy your spaceflight.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of May 27th, 2026. I'm Teresa Urban.
And filling in for Tag, I'm Vern.
Well, we would like to thank everyone who supports the show, but this week we would like to give a special shout out to Megan G for becoming a new supporter. If you'd like to help support the show and get ad-free versions of each episode, access to our supporter-only chat, plus a bunch of other really fun perks, head on over to dlweekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Now let's get to the news.
Extra, extra! Read all about it! DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tag and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
Beginning June 9th, the Disneyland Resort will officially eliminate its 11 a.m. park hopping restriction. I will say that again. Park hopping restrictions are going away. No longer do you need to wait until a certain magical time to swap parks. So this will allow guests to move more freely between Disneyland and Disney California Adventure at any time of day. This policy change applies to all visitors with the Park Hopper tickets or Magic Key passes. Park reservations are still required and guests must select a starting park when booking, but you no longer need to wait until mid-morning or physically tap into your reserved park before switching sides, which is wild. So it feels a little redundant that you still need to make a reservation and select a park because you can bop into whichever park you want now.
So I was just going to ask, what is the point of saying, I'm going to be in this park to start, if you don't have to?
So we were talking about this, I think, in our concierge chat, and someone brought up that maybe it's just like, I don't know, something within like however the coding in the system is that you have like they can't not do that, because if you are a single day ticket holder, it is important that you select a park.
Sure.
So maybe it's just I have no idea. Someone that's more understands that stuff might have a better understanding, but basically the thought was maybe the system's just too tangled up that they can't differentiate if you're a Magic Key holder or a park hopper when it comes to that quote-unquote reservation that you're making.
Or I wonder if maybe it's a fire code thing that they need to say, we have this many people starting in this park.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's our capacity for the day. And
so there is, you do bring up a point with capacity. So it is limited. So you can't have everybody all deciding the morning of that they're going to go to Disneyland when it's, they have X amount of reservations that should be going spread out between the two parks. So you are limited. So it's not a guarantee that you're going to be able to get into the other parks. It is still limited to if there's space available, if they've met capacity or not. So that's another thing to kind of keep in mind. We haven't really come into that as much now since reservations had started post-pandemic, but before the pandemic, that was a thing there, because, that was in the before times when there weren't park reservations, and it was a possibility that you could show up and they were just at capacity, so they'd have to be turning people away. That possibility is coming back. However, it didn't happen that frequently before, so hopefully it won't be an issue moving forward, but again, it is a possibility to be aware of.
Okay. I mean, overall, I do see it as a good thing. I mean, you would always see that 11 a.m. sudden influx of people. And so overall, I definitely see this as a plussing, if you will.
Well, and something like to bring up with this is now when you're planning a trip, it's not as big of a stressor to make sure that everyone's got the same starting park for their park day. We actually ran into this because I was put on the spot when we were talking to the ticketing booth, because when we went, we had this past week, Vern had a 3-day ticket, and he decided, hey, I want to bump it to a 4-day ticket. Well, we made the decision too late that we weren't able to do it ahead of time, and we had to do it physically while we were there. No big deal. The cast members were super helpful, but they asked when we extended it to the 4-day ticket, okay, cool, what park would you like to start in that day? And in my brain, I was like, oh, California Adventure. That's the reservation I had made for myself. So California, it was not. We looked at it later, and I had my starting park was Disneyland, and Vern's starting park was California Adventure. And actually, it was a crazy busy time when we were there because grad nights were happening. So there was lots and lots of people enjoying the resort, which was wonderful. But it made it a little tricky for me because I actually had to play the waiting game and just kind of was having to watch and babysit the app to flip my starting park ticket. So we were joking that maybe one morning we were going to have what we were calling a park divorce, and we'd have to start in separate parks and then meet up, after the 11 switch. But with this new rule, you don't have to worry about that. That would not be an issue.
Yep. Well, in anticipation of the upcoming theatrical release of Toy Story 5, the characters have received some new wardrobes and accessory updates. Guests can now spot Woody sporting a bandana poncho, Buzz Lightyear carrying a shiny new star sticker, and Jessie wearing a sheriff's badge. These new details are designed to directly match the character's appearance in the new film, which hits theaters on June 19th, 2026.
I love this. We always talk about how much we enjoy, the collaboration between what's happening on the screens and then how they kind of tie that in and bring the parks up to whatever speed it is. So in this case, they're lovely characters that have been around in the parks for a long, long time, but they're going to be getting some new looks with this new movie. So we're seeing that already in the parks. Maybe a little bit of foreshadowing or something, depending on how you want to look at this. I know nothing about Toy Story 5. So so I'm curious, what's the significance of Buzz Lightyear's little shiny star sticker thing? And
I'm spoiler free going into Toy Story 5, but Toy Story in and of itself is becoming almost as timeless and beloved. I might get some hate mail for this, but I'm going to say it. It's becoming almost as timeless and beloved as Mickey himself.
Oh, I would say for the Pixar side of things, these characters are kind of like the OGs, and they're kind of like the quote unquote icons.
Yeah, I mean, they've literally spanned generations. They came out when we were kids, and now your brother has a kid. I mean, how many people have had them in their lives their whole lives? And these characters having been around so long, being so iconic, and to have them coming out with a new movie now, and the parks keeping up with that and bringing the characters to life right in front of children's eyes like this, it's an awesome thing that the parks are doing, and I love seeing it.
Well, for the first time since opening back in 2019, Savi's Workshop is offering a limited-time experience called the Youngling Saber Building Expo, a Loth Cat Crew experience, designed specifically for children aged 3 to 9. However, in the Disney Parks article, they do say, and children at heart, so don't count yourself out, Disney adults. So children and their accompanying adults. This unique interactive session allows families to explore the inside of the usually high-cost venue and participate in a lightsaber building adventure. While the experience itself is completely free, guests will have the option to purchase their custom-built lightsaber at the end.
Super cool that they're bringing this available to the younglings, to the kids.
Love this. So maybe in the beginning, those of us that are kids at heart, it might be a little bit more difficult to get in and do this, but I love this so much. I have absolutely no desire to have my own custom built lightsaber.
Right.
To just have forever. But the experience, I've always been very, very curious about the experience.
Yes.
Whereas prior, the only way that you got to experience this was if you were the person that purchased and were going to go in to build your lightsaber, or if you were their plus one, in essence.
Yeah.
So unless it was you or you had a friend, this was not an experience that was open for everyone. So I really, really love that they're opening this up. And honestly, they might see that they have better sales or something, because maybe it's, something that people aren't really sure of. But once they go through the whole thing and get to do it, then maybe they're like, okay. I think back to like Universal Studios, the Ollivanders experience. Like, you may go in to have that experience. And then if you're the chosen one for the wand choosing ceremony, it's a little tougher to just walk out and be like, nah. Not for me. So.
Oh, totally. Yep. Yeah, so many times I've thought about going in and checking it out, and then I hear the price tag, and I'm like, never mind, I don't have to go in there.
Well, and you're not.
But if I was already in there and I had it in my hand, and then they said the price tag, I'd be like, it is in my hand.
Well, and like, it's, you're not a big collectibles person, so you're more about the experience itself. So being able to do something like this, have the experience, even if I think they could even get away, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I do think they could probably get away with charging some sort of fee to get in to do the experience. Obviously not the $200-$300 that it is to build and keep the lightsaber, something much, like, I don't know, $25-$30.
Yeah, I'd pay $20-$30 just to say I did it.
They could do that and people would still sign up to do this. So I think it's cool. At first, when I read this, I was very excited because I feel like this was something that we were like fans had kind of been asking for. And I think this is really wonderful that they're opening this up. But then the other side of me is like, oh no, are they not like, is the popularity of it dwindling down? So they're not having as many full paying guests come through to do this experience? Or, it got me a little worried too.
It may be both sides of the coin. Maybe it's a very niche market. And, how many people just have already bought their lights, of the people that really want to buy one, the hardcore fans that are going to go buy one, how many already have? And so now they've got to start reaching out and going, hey, you're thinking about it. Come on.
That's true.
So, if they were to say, hey, we want $20 because you came in the door, I've spent $20 for a beer at Olga's, so I'd pay $20 to go in and try it out.
Yeah. So it's unclear. This news came released the same day that the Grogu and Mandalorian overlay came to Galaxy's Edge, which was the same day that the BDX droids came to Galaxy's Edge, which was also the same day that Kids Rule Summer kicked off around the resort. So I don't know if this just happened, like if this was its own thing, or if this is actually like partnered up with one of these other kind of promotion type things that they're running at the resort right now. Because I could see it going with, hey, like it's another Star Wars experience to bring you back into Galaxy's Edge to experience, the BDX droids, the new version of Star Wars Land with it being, with the timeline being opened up, plus the new version of Smuggler's Run. This is something else to bring you kind of back there to fill more time of your day and have another really cool, amazing experience. Or, since this is geared towards ages 3 to 9, which is really, Kids Rule Summer, that's what all of those things are geared toward. Is this maybe a Kids Rule Summer promo, or is it just kind of a happy accident and it's both?
I could see it, any of the above, really. Yeah, that all makes sense.
I haven't seen anything officially from Disney to say if it's A, B, or C, all of the above. Yeah. But I can see it always.
Yeah. And in a different galaxy far away news, Alien Pizza Planet has updated its dining format, returning to a classic cafeteria-style operation. The restaurant has removed its standard mobile ordering option from the Disneyland app, meaning guests looking for individual slices, pasta, and salads must now walk up and order directly from the food stations. A new Alien Pizza Planet Express mobile option has been introduced, which is exclusively dedicated to ordering large family-style whole pizza meals.
This is so cool, and honestly, I'm surprised with you reading this out loud, you somehow did not summon Tag from wherever he is, because he was very frustrated, and rightfully so, at what they did to Alien Pizza Planet, because when they made the huge shift and kind of pushed everything to mobile order because of our post-pandemic world, it really did. This location did not benefit from it. The service slowed way down, bogged way down, and it just was not. It was not functioning at the capacity it could and should have been functioning. So I think this is a great thing that they did to see that and go, hey, we tried it. It didn't work. Our bad. We made a mistake. Let's take a step back and reset. So I'm kind of wondering if other places around the resort might start doing this too. I can't think of any other places in particular that was such a glaring, mobile order, it's actually hurting this location. You need to, dial it back. I can't think of anywhere else that was as glaringly obvious as Pizza Planet, but I do wonder if maybe they're also looking at other locations.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. And listeners, if you can think of one and you want to send us a message, tell us, hey, this is the one that comes to my mind, please do so. We love feedback. But I'm sure that there have got to be other places that, what works for many places doesn't always work for all places. Right. And yeah, definitely Alien Pizza Planet is one where, it didn't work for that place. Mm-hmm. So yeah, happy to see this change coming through. As
I'm sitting here thinking, Rancho did for a hot sec have mobile order, but they quickly kind of backpedaled on that and reset that. Because these places that are set up to be kind of like cafeteria style, where you kind of have like Plaza Inn's the same way, where you have all of the different stations and you can just kind of grab the items off the stations you wish and then go over to the cashier that rings up your total and poof, away you go. Just do not transition well to mobile order because the space is already set up for it to be efficient the other way, the flow of everything, all that stuff. So glad to see it.
Yes.
I am Groot.
What do you mean you're hungry? Kraglin needs those pots for the rehydrator. We don't have time for snacks.
I am Groot.
Were you talking to Tag and Teresa again? How'd they even get a hold of you?
I am Groot.
Fine. One snack. That's it.
I am Groot.
No, I haven't seen any churros. You gotta talk to Vern. And stop smiling.
Well, speaking of food, we're going to head on over to SnackChat, where Trader Sam is celebrating 15 years. And how do we make celebrations happen at the Disneyland Resort? Oh, well, with food and merchandise offerings, of course.
Of course. That's the best way to celebrate if you're in Disneyland.
So the first thing that I'll talk about real quick is there's a special tiki mug just for this celebration. It is, I don't even know how to describe it. It's the 15th anniversary hyena mug, which is served, this is great, with the Barrel of Mischief cocktail. So this will officially arrive later this week on May 30th, and there is an early mobile order release on May 29th while supplies last. But it's just so funny. It's a hyena in a barrel laughing hysterically.
Yeah. I mean, it's cute.
It's very cute.
Yeah. And of course, that's exactly what we need is one more excuse to have another tiki mug in our collection.
Yeah. It's a special one. It's the 15th
no, I'm not
anniversary.
complaining. I love the tiki mugs in our collection. We definitely need another one.
What other cocktails can you get to celebrate 15 years?
Well, as I'm looking this over, I see they've got the Jungle Bird, the Navy Grog, the Lap Lapoo, Saturn, Test Pilot, 3 dots and a dash, which, okay, I'm a little off on my Morse code. I haven't studied it in a while, but 3 dots and a dash. S-O? No. S-A? But each bringing its own tropical flavor profile and vintage tiki inspiration to the celebration. A Navy Grog, that would be, it's got to be some sort of, with a syrup and a lime base.
So these are actually this is the anniversary menu, so it's highlighting iconic tiki cocktails that help kind of put Trader Sam's on the map and define the reputation. So these are all classics.
Oh, nice.
So they're kind of like a throwback, if you will. There are also some new signature originals to help celebrate, which starts with the Ginger's Paradise. So it's made with Absolute Vodka, Canton Ginger, lime juice, agave nectar. There's also the Old Kungaloosh, which is made with Tito's Vodka, Malibu rum, Midori melon, pineapple, and cranberry juices. Both of those sound delightful. What else can you get?
There's the Rosita's Margarita with Herradura Reposado Tequila, Bowls Orange Curacao, lime juice, agave nectar, and falernum.
I did not accidentally mean to give you the one that had the more difficult words. I apologize.
Hey, I was a bartender
You did a
for a
great
long
job.
time, and it had to wrap my tongue around a few of them, but I remembered how to say them. The Kablooe.
That's fun.
The Bacardi Superior Rum, Bowls Blue Curacao, Pineapple Juice, and Coco Real.
Ooh, that sounds good too.
And the Lost Safari with Sailor Jerry Spiced Rum, Sam's Gorilla Grog, Grenadine, and Myers Dark Rum. Ooh, that one's going to be sweet and strong.
All sound just fantastic.
Yes, that Lost Safari, be careful if you get that one. It's going to be tasty, but it's going to pack a punch.
So the food menu is also getting a little bit of attention and a slight makeover. You can enjoy returning and some specialty dishes, which include a barbecue chicken flatbread, which is topped with teriyaki chicken and pineapple. There's a chicken katsu curry served with jasmine rice and Japanese curry. There's farake fries with a gochujang aioli and a refreshing mac salad with a togarashi aioli. Yum! All of these sound like I don't think there's a wrong choice here.
No, they all look delicious.
We're very excited to help celebrate Trader Sam's 15th anniversary. Over the years, the location evolved for more than just a lounge. It really helped popularize Disney's modern tiki culture movement. And I mean, look at all the different like tiki mugs and everything that's come out of the place, all of the fun different cocktails and drinks that everyone can enjoy. Plus, they've started doing mixology classes there. You've got all of the fun interactive elements inside of Trader Sam's itself. It is small, but mighty.
Yes.
So it is a very fun experience if you haven't gotten to enjoy it. Highly, highly, highly recommend.
Oh,
And
yeah.
What a better time to do it than during the 15-year anniversary.
If you haven't had a chance to do it, definitely go and check it out. It is even if you're not an imbiber, get one of the non-alcoholic specialties. It is definitely a place just to go and have the experience of sitting there and just taking in the atmosphere. It's a very fun place and quite an experience to go and have.
Well, we first spoke with our friends over at We're in the Park back on episode 265. Amanda, Kevin, and Kim create amazing and fun seek and find scavenger hunt games in theme parks all over the United States. So whether you want to challenge at Disneyland or want to explore someplace new like Universal Studios, Knott's Berry Farm, or even SeaWorld, there are fun game packs for everyone. There's also, if you're a Walt Disney World person, packs for all of the different parks in Walt Disney World for you to go and explore and experience too. But for the first time visit to experience all these small details or just to have fun, or for your 100th visit to try and test your knowledge of the parks you love so much, Where in the Park is for you. Visit the link in our show notes to get started. Well, this week we're actually taking a little break from Trivia Land. We're giving Vern the week off since he had to be on not one, not two discussions, but now 3. He was doing the news with me and stepping in this week. So we're giving him a little vacation from Trivia Land. But don't worry, we will be back next week with more trivia from around Disneyland. More stumpers, probably.
Having just been in the parks, I was even able to bone up on some new questions, all of my own. So I'll have them nicely stumped next week.
Well, sit back, relax, and enjoy part 2 of our Disneyland trip report from this past week.
So, we were starting off today then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about today.
Yeah, so that brings us to our present, which is Friday, May 22nd. And my goodness, it has been quite a day.
Delightful day.
It has been quite a day.
Wonderful
so there's
day.
all sorts of things that we're kicking off today.
Yeah.
The biggest one being
Rope drop.
Yes, rope drop. We got here to rope drop, but why specifically were we here to rope drop?
We came to rope drop because it is the day that there's the new Mandalorian overlay on Smuggler's Run. So my friend that I picked up at Los Angeles Airport, we met up with him and his son, and we found them at the entrance to Frontierland. So we met up with my friends, and as soon as that rope dropped, everybody hightailed it back to Galaxy's Edge, Batuu, and amazingly, the crowd split off, and most people seemed to go over to Rise of the Resistance.
So I'm looking right now, as we're recording this, 4:30. It is a Friday afternoon. It is still only a 15-minute wait. I don't think people know this is happening.
Apparently not. So yeah,
and they're missing out.
We more or less just walked right on to Smuggler's Run, and with the new Mandalorian overlay, it's so much more involved than old Smuggler's Run. Every position has more things that you're doing, more buttons to press, more switches to flip. It's just so much more of an engrossing experience than it had been. So we wanted to make sure that we tried to do every single position, and so we got in there and we did it once and we had a great time, and we got out and we said, okay, we want to do this again, and still no line. So we did it a second time. Yeah,
we ended up doing it, going on 3 times in the first hour that the park was open.
Yes.
So between 8 and 9 a.m. we got to experience Smuggler's Run 3 times.
Yep.
Each time we intentionally sat in different seats. So I think the first time we were the gunners, the second time we were the engineers, and then the final time we were the pilots.
Yep.
So not only is the experience different for the seat, like for where the positions are, but the screen is different. The mission that you're on is different. We don't want to give too much away because it's very, very cool. There's new destinations. You actually get to have some involvement as to where it is you're going. I really was excited because if you sit in the engineer seat, there's a very special button that I'm going to lovingly nickname the Grogu button, because you could press this little button and Grogu would pop up on your screen whenever you'd press this button, and it was very, very fun. So if you are a big, big fan of Grogu, highly recommend being an engineer so you can have your own little Grogu button for yourself. But it was a super fun time, and I think the thing that was so cool was obviously it was our first time experiencing it, so we didn't really know what to expect. And like the first time we did it, I was kind of overwhelmed, so I'm glad that we went back and did it a second and then a third time, because then I kind of got to understand more of what was going on, because it wasn't just trying to figure out the buttons and trying to watch the screen and trying to do all the things. So it was a really, really good time.
Yes, very much so.
The other thing too that I want to add is we did notice small things. So not only do the different positions kind of have different responsibilities, I guess the one that's the most similar is the pilots, is the same as what it was before, but the biggest thing we noticed with them was the steering didn't seem to be quite as touchy.
Not as touchy,
which was good. The gunners, so of course you're shooting at the bad guys like you do. There was you could do like an auto aim, or you could do a manual aim. We were not brave enough to try the manual, so if anybody out there is brave.
One of our friends did.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he went with the manual. I wasn't watching close enough to see how it went for him.
Yeah, maybe we should have tried it, because now that we're talking about this, I'm trying to think, how do you do you just have to wait? I don't know. I'm curious how the aiming works.
I don't know.
We'll have to go try it again. And then the engineers had, of course, the very special Grogu button, but you also got to control a tractor beam.
Yes.
So there's that as well. And, still do all the fixing of the ship. So, every position, there's not really a sit back and relax position. For the engineers, you kind of got to enjoy the experience a little more, but
not as much as you used to be able to. It used to be that engineer was just keep your finger near one button and you just hit it occasionally, but this was way more involved.
So it was super, super duper fun. And then we actually just happened to accidentally stumble upon, we came across some cute little droid friends. That's right, the BDX droids are back. You can go check them out. I guess I'm going to call it the garage area over by Batuu, or in Batuu. So it's across from where Ronto Roasters and Savi's is, but there's a popcorn or a snack cart that's usually parked over there. It's also by one of the Frontierland entrances. But yeah, that little garage area there, the little BDX droids came out, did a really cute, fun little show. They were in behind a little fenced area, so it was nice. It was a good place for them to be. You didn't have to worry about, children or maybe adults rushing up on them and distracting them from, they were supposed to be working, was the what was supposed to be happening, but they had a little dance party instead.
Yeah, it was a cute little choreographed thing going on. It was nice.
That was your first ever time seeing the BD Extroids.
It was, yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah, it was cute. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice little distraction, just a fun little thing. Kind of a character meet and greet-esque without really having to, not your normal, people swarming trying to get pictures with or anything. Yeah, it was very cute and fun. I liked it.
Well, and not only did we just happen upon the BD Extroids, as we were leaving, we found the Mandalorian and Grogu meeting and greeting. So we let them know that we tried our best to get the I don't even remember what it was. The bounty. Well, we're going after bounty hunters.
Yeah, it was bounty. We were getting a bounty when we were on Smuggler's Run 3 times.
So we let them know that we tried our best, but maybe we still need some more. After that, we decided to head over to Tomorrowland because we had heard that there was something brand new in the Tomorrowland Theater. I know, I'm going to pause for effect there because when was the last time there was... It feels like it's been forever since there's been something in the Tomorrowland Theater. Well, the theater is back and it's open. They had a very adorable Pixar short film spotlight is what they were calling it. So we went in, we got to enjoy 3 Pixar shorts.
Yeah.
So it was a really great, I can see how this will be, the Pixar shorts, who doesn't love those?
Right.
But a great, midday break, get off your feet for a little bit, enjoy some AC,
get out
kind
of
of
the
do a
sun.
Recharge while being entertained. It was fantastic.
And I really enjoyed that they started with Luxo Jr., and they really took it back to the roots and said, look at this is our first thing, this is what put us on the map, what grabbed attention and said, hey, look at us. And then they brought it all the way up to some of their more recent stuff that they've just put out. Not just, I think the most recent was 2019, but still, they said, hey, here's our roots all the way back to the mid-'80s, and here's something that we very recently did. Kind of look how far we've come and look at these things that we're doing, and it was just really neat to just see all of that on one big screen right in front of me. And the whole thing took 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, it was not a terribly long time, but it was also longer than I was kind of expecting.
Sure. Yeah.
Which it was very enjoyable. Highly recommend if you are visiting and that is still going. Like I said, at the very least, it's a great just kind of take a break, get off your feet, give your body a moment to kind of just relax while you're enjoying some really excellent entertainment. After that, we continued exploring and came across the construction walls down around what we now know is called the Edelweiss Lounge. So next to the Edelweiss snack stand over by the Matterhorn, we'd been kind of watching some construction updates, trying to figure out what was going on. It was where the old Fast Pass distribution area had been way back in the day for the Matterhorn, but they've turned it into a nice seating area for anybody, but specifically, I'm sure, for the Edelweiss snack stand. So you can go enjoy your turkey leg or your cheesy garlic pretzel bread. Yeah. All that sort of things. And the thing that's cool, it's themed very well.
It was so beautifully themed.
I didn't see with my own eyeballs that there was construction walls around this thing
2 days ago?
A day ago, maybe.
Yesterday.
We didn't go over there yesterday, so I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure it was still had the walls up even yesterday.
Yeah.
If I didn't know that, I would have had no idea.
No.
It blends in seamlessly with this area.
Yes, very nicely done. And after that, we decided we've never really checked out Bluey's Best Day Ever, so
we gotta check it out.
We gotta see just how good of a day is this. And I gotta say, we don't have children. We don't spend that much time with children. We haven't had much exposure to Bluey, but from what we saw being there and watching Bluey's Best Day Ever, it was adorable. Seeing the interaction with the kids and how the kids were able to get up and dance along, and the characters up on the stage, the live music, everything about it. If you have kids and they're Bluey fans, I can imagine this has got to be such a treat for them.
I don't even know if you need to be a Bluey fan to get enjoyment out of this.
True,
of course, if you watch the show, you're familiar with the different songs, the different dances. I was so impressed. We were talking about that when we were leaving, at how all of these children knew all of the different dance moves to all the different dances. It was so stinking cute. But while we were there, we were enjoying our cheesy garlic pretzel bread. And I also stopped over at the Troubadour Tavern because I really wanted to try, earlier in the week had tried the cold brew back there, which is called the Mud Cake Cold Brew. I don't remember if I talked about this last week or not, but I'm gonna let you know what my thoughts were just in case I skipped over it. So the Mud Cake Cold Brew, it is a cold brew with a malted milk topper, fudge brownie bits, and sprinkles. Sounds like a lot, right? So I intentionally had it in the afternoon because I'm like, oh, that is a lot of sugar. That is a lot of sugar first thing in the morning. So we will have that as a midday pick-me-up. And let me tell you, I was really surprised. I was expecting it to be a sugar bomb overload cold brew. And sweetness level, mine anyways, that I enjoyed that day, was like on the same level as like a chocolate milk. So it was not overly sweet like I was expecting it to be. Highly recommend. If you're not into sweet coffees, maybe skip this one. It is sweeter than, I feel like a good like mid-ground would be like the Black Calf Cold Brew. It is sweeter than the Black Calf Cold Brew, so if that's too sweet for you, I'd probably steer clear of this one. But if you enjoy sweeter coffees, highly recommend this. But then today we got to enjoy the lime ice block drink, which sounds weird, but I will explain what it is real quick. It is a pineapple limeade made with coconut milk and a watermelon ice block, aka like a watermelon popsicle.
That had coconut milk.
It did have coconut milk.
Oh my goodness. Okay, carry on.
It did. It was really delightful. It was refreshing. It was tart. So if tart's not your thing, maybe don't go for this. I was really impressed with the watermelon ice block, though. I thought that was really delicious.
So listeners, you need to understand my interruption there when I asked if it had coconut milk in it, because I can't stand coconut. And I enjoyed drinking that with her because it was a very tasty, wonderful drink that we both enjoyed sharing together. And now she describes it and I hear the word coconut and I say, well, I didn't taste that. That was a very splendid drink. So if you heard the description and said, oh, I won't drink that, it has coconut, give it a try, because it didn't come out in the flavor profile.
Yeah, no, it gave it a little bit of a creaminess, would be like what I noticed from it, if that makes sense. Like it just, instead of it being just like a regular drink, it had a little creaminess.
I did notice the creaminess, but there was no flavor profile of coconut. All I got was melon.
Yeah. The other thing too, we decided to leave the watermelon ice block, aka the popsicle, in it and kind of let it melt, so the flavor also was changing as we were sitting there sipping on it and enjoying it. But it was really delightful. I could see on like a really hot day how that would be crazily refreshing.
Oh yeah. We enjoyed all of that sitting at Bluey, and after that we decided we were enjoying live shows, so let's pop over to the Royal Theater.
No, but before we did that, we went back to Toontown.
Oh, goodness,
because we had to go take a spin or a non-spin.
Yes,
on
non-spin.
Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin.
Yes. So that was fun, trying out the new way of doing Roger Rabbit and not spinning around, which it did still spin, just not as intensely as the old way.
So,
and not controlled by us.
I will say this though. We were spinning probably more than I would have been spinning myself.
Sure.
If that's a good way of kind of gauging it. So if you are prone to like motion sickness and things like the teacups are a bit much for you, I still think Roger Rabbit's probably going to be a little much, because there were parts where it did whip us around quite a bit. I do think they are still trying to work out the timed spinning of it, because there were multiple sections where we were just backwards and facing the wrong way through different rooms. So there was that, which then it was a little difficult because, again, since you can't actually direct the car yourself anymore, which way you're facing, you're just kind of stuck. But we got to see the attraction much differently than we normally got to see it.
Instead of the old just whipping around willy-nilly, it was interesting. It was a new way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
After that, we decided that we weren't going to really do a lunch today, so we had the cheesy garlic pretzel bread, we had the drink, and then we decided we needed some sort of dessert. Mm-hmm, so we went over to Maurice's Treats.
Yes.
I had the tiramisu nitro cold brew. Oh, that was the other thing, we needed caffeine. It's been a long week. So I got the tiramisu nitro cold brew. I genuinely don't remember if I've had this one before or not, but it was delightful. I really liked it. If you've had the nitro cold brews over at Maurice's Treats before, they are different. So like the biggest difference is there's not ice in those cold brews. It is kind of a smoother, richer flavor. Mm-hmm. But if you like sweet and creamy, the tiramisu was a good sweet and creamy nitro cold brew. You had just the just the nitro cold brew, no extra
black
flavor.
Cold brew, and it was delicious. It was smooth and rich, and just if you appreciate an espresso, but you want it to be cold and not as bitter, that was it. It was just a good, black, strong, hardcore coffee drink.
The other thing that we got over there was the new to us, chocolate croissant cookie. Now, Tag and I had tried the original just croissant cookie and weren't really understanding the hype. And like it was all right, but it wasn't like, holy cow. Well, move over regular croissant because
this was delicious.
Chocolate croissant cookies in town. Easily my favorite new thing that we've had this entire trip.
It was buttery and flaky.
It was warm when they gave it to us. It had filling throughout, so it wasn't like sometimes you got a bite with the filling and sometimes you didn't have a bite with the filling. Ooh, it was good.
Very evenly done with the filling,
So the description, as it is on the menu, is that it's a flat croissant that has been filled with chocolate and coated in sugar. And by coated in sugar, it's like the raw cane sugar, so think it was like bigger granules. It was delightful. It was a large size. We easily shared it and still felt it was totally fine. But it was also delicious enough that I'm sure we probably could have each had our own and been totally happy with that too.
Yeah, I mean, it was the right size that I could have put down one by myself and called it my lunch, but sharing it was also delightful too. Yeah.
So after that, we decided we needed to go take a trip around the mansion because we had done that the first day that we were here, but we hadn't been able to travel back and spend some time with the Happy Haunts since then. So we went back, said hi to the Haunts. But the cool thing that I want to mention about this was not the ride. We all know that that's, amazing and cool. But when we got out and went through Leota's gift shop at the end there, so we all know that they have the build your own headbands. Well, today's the first day I saw there's a bucket hat version. So you can buy a black Disneyland bucket hat. It's got an embroidered Disneyland D, also in black, but it has little notches open at the top. So you can put your little characters on your bucket hat. So you can customize your own bucket hat. I thought that was so fun.
Very cool.
We had seen reports online that they had baseball caps like that. I haven't actually seen those to purchase. I have seen people walking around wearing them, but there's now a bucket hat version. So if the headband is not for you, maybe the bucket hat would be a good alternative.
And it's nice to see, getting more options out there because, like you just said, maybe the headband's not for you. Not everybody likes headbands, whether it's, too tight on your head or whatever your reasoning may be. Not everybody's a headband person. Now you've got more availability to you, and that's awesome.
While we were leaving New Orleans Square, we had to stop by. There's a little, merchandise cart that's at the end. Well, it's by Cafe Orleans, would be a good way of explaining where it's at. And there was a woman out there waving a pirate flag, and she had something in her hand, and of course I was like, ooh, what's that? So we went over and chatted with the very kind cast member there. Part of Kids Rule Summer here at the Disneyland Resort, which again kicked off today, is this Mickey's Park Rangers game. So it's a free game available to, mostly it's intentionally made for kids, but kids of all ages can do this activity book, and it's filled with all sorts of stuff. I mean, this thing, I don't know, 20 to 30 pages if you really wanted to get into it and do all the different stuff. So it'll be great for kids, keeping them busy in lines, keeping them entertained. That's, if you're waiting, it's not a screen or something like that. Tons and tons of stuff. But you get, 37 pages. Yeah. So you can go around. We haven't started ours yet, but you can go around. There are different stamps and different stations that you go to collect your stamps. And once you've collected all your stamps, it didn't sound like you turned them in for a prize or anything like that. You just became an official Master Ranger once you finish it all off. But yeah, so you earn a badge is what it is. So once you have all 5 Ranger stamps, show your Park Ranger booklet to a cast member at any of the Ranger reward spots and earn your Master Ranger badge. How fun and cool is that?
Very cool.
So there's this. The other thing that kicked off today for Kids Rule Summer is she was telling us there's going to be a bubble station in downtown Disney. There was some entertainment stuff going on in DCA, and then in Frontierland they have Mickey-shaped pin trading boards that are red Mickey-shaped pin trading boards that are specifically set up just for kids.
Yep. And she was talking about special movie nights they were going to be doing. I think she said Tuesdays and Thursdays, and just they're really trying to be very kid forward.
Yeah. Yep. It's been delightful, and so that was just a fun, cool thing to kind of stumble upon. And if you're going to be here this summer, and like I said, kids of all ages can do this, so why not do something cool and fun and different to explore the parks?
Yeah, and as I'm looking closer in this, I'm seeing that they've got do some bird watching and try to find real live birds in the park.
See, how cool is that?
It's not just, fill out this thing and stare at this book all day, but it's look at the world around you. I mean, super cool.
There's word searches, there's little crossword puzzles, there's matching games and drawing games and all sorts of fun, creative things to do.
Very cool.
The last thing that I just kind of wanted to let people know about that we've noticed on this trip, actually, I don't know if I've talked to you about this, but in the women's restroom, we have an update. Not all of the women's restrooms, but a lot of the women's restrooms now have these little, flag type things. So how sometimes it's difficult to know if the door is closed just because it swung closed on its own, or if it's closed because somebody's in it. So sometimes you have to kind of go push the doors to see if they will open or not, and you have to do it politely, because what if there's somebody in there?
Flags?
There are now vacant and occupied
on the
flags.
stalls. They have that in the men's rooms as well.
They are brilliant.
Yes
I don't know how many places. So one of them I have memories of is in Toontown. Those doors like to swing closed in the women's room there. So you never, inevitably, if you didn't physically watch somebody come out of it, you just assume that it's being used.
Yeah.
Well, that half the time isn't the case. So usually the cast members that were in there cleaning would kind of have to poke them open to be oh, nope, this one's open, this one's open, to help people get through. So brilliant. And they just attached it to the existing door.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that they're going to be doing this at all the restrooms around the resort. Right now it's quite a few, but just not all of them yet. And
I've noticed it a few times, but not consistently.
I just thought it was brilliant. Some small little contraption that somebody created, and it is highly, highly, highly effective.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's a weird note to end on, but that's where we're wrapping up. Oh, look at that. What timing. The Dapper Dans are starting. So with that, we have thoroughly enjoyed our time in the parks.
Yep, we have. And now I'm going to go enjoy some live music. So thank you for listening. We're going to go enjoy the parks.
Well, you've heard us talk about our great experiences staying at the Howard Johnson in Anaheim. Well, we've partnered with them to offer our listeners some really cool discounts. Weekly tiers can get 15% off their next stay. To take advantage of this discount, head on over to DLWeekly.net and click on the Howard Johnson logo.
We'll be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
A special thank you to Sidel for editing the podcast, Andy Mack for all of the wonderful character transitions, and to James D. and Aaron C. for supporting at the Club 33 level.
Hello, I am Baymax, your personal podcast companion. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this episode? My scans indicate you have been a good weekly tier. Have a lollipop. Now excuse me while I let out some air. Goodbye.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.